All right, guys. Seth from Head Springs Depot here. I'm hanging out with Dr. Matt Harris today of Berry Farms Chiropractic right here in Franklin. And excited to have a conversation with Matt today about sleep and health and all kinds of things that matter to every one of us. So I want to dive in. Matt, tell us a little about you, your practice, your family. Give us a little bit of Matt Harris.
Well, thanks, Seth, for having me. First of all, sleep, we're going to talk about it. It's important. It's
huge.
It's a third of our life.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And so being a chiropractor, I've been a chiropractor for 23 years now.
Careful now, you're going to date yourself.
23 years. I know. That's when you're supposed to say, it doesn't look like you're old enough to be
so
impressed.
Young,
yes,
Matt.
yes.
How could no
It's
one would
because
have
I get
any
good
idea.
sleep.
That's right. There you go.
So, but my wife and I, our family, we moved here 12 years ago. So we've been in Berry Farms now. We've been open for 11 years, Berry Farms Chiropractic. We love Franklin, Middle Tennessee. I'm a Tennessee native. So
hard not to love this
4
place.
kids.
It's awesome.
So it's a sweet season.
That's great, man. That's great. So Berry Farms Chiropractic has been going on that entire time?
11 years.
Wow.
Yep.
In the same location?
Same location.
Right.
Yeah, when we first came to Berry Farms, there was nothing there.
Yeah.
And we all know how this area has just exploded. Nobody knew what Berry Farms was. And so it's...
Yeah, y'all were early adopters over there.
Yes, it's cool to be. And now we're going to have In-N-Out. So everybody will know where Berry Farms is.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Yes. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, it's coming in hot.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's great. Well, thanks for taking the time to be here. It's an honor and a pleasure to be able to sit down with you.
Thanks for having me.
Always had a lot of respect for you over the years, and you've always been a kind customer and friend. So thanks for taking the time.
Feelings mutual.
So, well, let's dive into some of these questions here. I think we just met like one time in the store, right? That was
how we first met.
Yeah.
I came looking for a sleep system.
That's right.
Now, it's interesting how I found out about you because you had not, how long has Head Springs been open now?
16 years, actually.
Yeah, so you were still early on.
Yeah, 12 years ago, yeah.
A patient of mine who's a pharmacist, and she has rods in her spine, and I've seen her twice a week. She was one of my first patients, so for 11 years. I mean, I've seen this lady hundreds of times.
Wow.
But she says if I come twice a week, I can work. If I don't come twice a week, I can't work. So what she sleeps on, so she's really sensitive about what her body needs for support.
Of course, yeah.
And she came in one day and she was telling me that she'd picked out this sleep system and all the features that she needed, the elevation, all the things. Yep. And it was going to be over $13,000 for that sleep system.
My goodness.
And she told me that she's like, I went to this place called Head Springs Depot, and she said, I found everything I needed for a fraction of what I was going to pay for that other system.
That's our goal.
So that got my attention. It was at the same time my wife and I, we'd been married about 8 years, and so we were talking about needing to update our sleep system.
Sure.
And so that's how I found you. So I came down, and you took care. You were the one that I saw.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And so that's how we met.
I love it. Yeah. And since then we've been helping each other a lot. Anytime we have a person in need with chiropractic care, we're like, we've got the guy. Go down here into Berry Farms, and I know you guys have been generous in sending people to us.
I have patients ask me if I'm on the payroll because I send everybody. Over there. I probably 5 or 6 people a week. I have a direct conversation saying, go by Head Springs Depot.
Well, we appreciate it. We'll take good care of them when they come.
Yeah, always do.
Well, that's great. I love reliving that. Let's talk about, you're a doctor. Mm-hmm. You know your stuff. Let's talk about why sleep matters so much. Why is it so important to our health?
Well, first of all, as we mentioned earlier, sleep is so important because what we sleep on, our sleep environment, we spend a third of our life in bed.
Yes,
okay?
Sir.
And sleep is a foundational pillar for our health. our bodies are self-healing and self-regulating, and it is during sleep that most of that healing and regulation takes place, because your body shuts down all those other functions. That's often why they say don't eat before you go to bed, because your body doesn't need to. You don't want your body focusing on digestion and trying to focus on, healing and regulating too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a key component for being healthy. It controls everything from your hormone regulation to your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
That's when your immune system gets stronger, your heart health. There's just no aspect of your health and well-being that's not impacted by your sleep.
I mean, I know if I don't sleep well too, my wife gives me a hard time because she's like, look, you're grumpy and you're not fun to be around. So it also hurts my relationships if I don't sleep well.
You're not going to make good decisions.
Sure. Yeah.
You're more prone to accidents. When you sleep, your brain is actually able to kind of detox and even drain. It's kind of got like this drainage system and eliminate proteins that they often may associate with things like Alzheimer's. So just the better quality of sleep we can try to attain, then that's going to help to have a better quality of life.
I love it. So some off-the-cuff tips that I want to ask you, like if you were advising a patient on how to get lined up for their best night's sleep, what are some of the routine things you might suggest for someone to keep in mind?
Oh, that's a great question. And first of all, you're wanting to wind down the system. Okay, so going back to like eating before bed and reducing electronic activity, you just want to kind of ease out the day. I mean, all of us are running 100 miles an hour during the day.
Absolutely, sure.
Okay. And so how do we help that system unwind and not overstimulate it before we're trying to go to sleep?
Okay.
Okay. Then another thing is recognizing your sleep positions. Some people like sleeping on their back. Some people like sleeping on their side. Some people like sleeping all over the place.
Sure.
One of the worst positions is on your stomach.
Okay.
The hard part about on your stomach is you turn your head to breathe. And if I did this for 8 hours today, I'd have problems.
Sure.
Okay? But we'll sleep that way. And then oftentimes the arm comes up underneath this. So as we start to just recognize, and to your point, how do we create an environment and position that's going to be more supportive and not stressful? That's key.
Love it.
Then that goes into what are you sleeping on? Your mattress, your pillow. How well is that supporting you?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome. We're very detailed in our process in the storefront. If a customer comes in, we ask a lot of those questions. Kind of piggyback on what you're saying. How do you sleep? What's your typical routine? How are you most comfortable? And it all comes back to the spine, as you know very well.
Right.
So if our spine's supported, kind of what we say is hips to head, where our spine is, if our hips to head area is supported, we're going to probably sleep our best.
Well, and that you and I have talked about trying to do something in the store with your sleep system. And I think so many people aren't aware of their body mechanics and what their posture is and what their posture is telling them. If someone just becomes more aware of that, that can give them insight into what to look for in sleeping on with their mattress or their pillow.
Absolutely.
So, just little tools like that can help make a big difference in helping patients people that are looking to better support themselves make better, more informed decisions about what might work best for them.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. How much sleep should people be getting every night, do you think? Like
according to the Sleep Foundation and the CDC, kids need a lot of sleep. Okay, so young kids, 9 to 12 hours of sleep.
Wow. That's way more than I would have expected.
Well, you just think about it, they're growing so fast.
Sure.
A lot of times parents will say, I think they're going through a growth spurt. They're eating a lot and they're sleeping a lot.
Sure.
Right? Because why? That body's needing to shut them down so it can do all those processes.
So we're not only regulating, like you and I as adults, our sleep is there to regulate us and kind of do a reset in our bodies. Whereas with kids, it's that plus the growth.
Yes.
So
and for all of us, it's restoration.
Sure.
Let's say you're working out or what you're doing with your damaging that muscle tissue during the day. It's restoring that. So, kids, especially you think about how much an infant sleeps, and you think about how much an infant changes in that first year. I mean, so that's sense. Where, so they need a lot of sleep. Teenagers, you're still in that 8 to 10 hour range. You move to people our age, late 20s.
Of course, yes.
We're in that 8 to 10 hour range. But even as we get older, seniors still, for optimal health and well-being, if you can get 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep, that's key.
That's great. I love it. So from a clinical perspective, when you're taking care of patients, what leads you to talk about what they're sleeping on?
Well, being a chiropractor, that's a natural conversation. People just tend to think about chiropractors, support, alignment, the body. So a lot of times people just ask me. Being a chiropractor, one of the things that we try to help people focus on with their health and their well-being, especially when they come to us with things that they're dealing with, complaints, is that most of the issues that they're experiencing are not as much the problem as they are the result of the problem. There's something creating those symptoms. Sometimes that's easy to figure out. Sometimes it's not. A lot of times it's a culmination of things. But anytime someone says they're having problems that are worse at night, worse in the morning, I go right into asking about mattress, pillow, sleep positioning. Okay. There's something going on there at night that is complicating what they're experiencing or causing it.
Sure. It's kind of centered around that time of day. So, laws of deduction, reasoning, we're going to
context clues.
We're going to kind of dig in there a little bit, see what's going on.
Yes. And also if I have this conversation and someone's, I'm telling them things to look for and try, and they go out of town and they come back and they're like, "Oh, I didn't have any problems while I was gone." I'm like, "Well, there's
I've
your
heard
sign."
That so many times.
There's your sign.
Sure. When it comes to sleep positioning, one thing I'll tell you a fun story real quick. I had this customer come in the store, and he was kind of this big, kind of gruff construction, he's a general contractor, come to find out. And I caught him in the store, and he's like, "Hey, I need help with a mattress." And I'm like, "Okay, yes, sir. What can we do to help?" And he's like, "I've got, nagging back issues and this, that, and the other, and I can't sleep, and it's killing me, And so we talked that out for a minute. I really heard him and listened to him in that moment, because I think he kind of honestly needed someone to talk to,
right?
And share that with, because he's in a difficult spot with, because like we were saying, sleep just affects everything. Like it trickles into your whole life, So we talked it out, got him on a few different mattresses that he looked at, and he was like, this is comfortable, it's better, da-da-da-da. But because he had this, it was like a slipped disc that he was battling, which I'm sure you've seen 1,000 times. I said, "Hey, have you ever tried an adjustable base before? That can change the position of the mattress to where you can create the perfect support for your unique back issue that you're dealing with." Right. He was like, "No, never. It seems like a gimmick, da-da-da-da." I'm like, well, let's just try it. Just because, we're kind of in a little bit of a semi-desperate situation here. We got to try something. So adjusted the mattress underneath him, because we have bases on display, of course, and he instantly lit up. Yep. He was like, that's incredible. And it's like, well, let's try this. We got him set up on a system. We delivered it, got it put together. Well, then a couple months later, he comes in the store, and I'm like, "Oh gosh, what's going on here?" And he kind of corners me off in the side, and he's like, "Hey, I need to speak to you." I said, "Yes, sir. What can I do to help?" And he, this big, I'm 6'1". You're way bigger.
5'20".
Exactly. He's a big
6'8" for all the math majors.
That's right. He's a big guy like you,
right,
and this big guy, big gruff guy comes and corners me. He shakes my hand, and he starts to tear up. And he says, "Thank you so much for showing me this adjustable base. It's changed my life. Like, I can actually sleep now. Things are going better in my marriage, at work. He goes down this whole list, and we kind of hug it out in that moment. And
sleep deprivation is a form of torture.
It's unbelievable what it does to people.
You know, my wife we had 4 kids in 5 years.
Okay.
She's a super mom.
Oh yeah. She's a ball of energy. I've met her.
Yeah, well, what
what
do super moms tend to compromise on the most? Their sleep.
Sure.
Because they're going to try to get everything else done while everyone else is sleeping.
Sure.
And I would remind her, Christine, sleep deprivation is a form of torture. It's what they do to bad guys to get information.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
And so whatever's causing that sleep deprivation or robbing you of good quality sleep, it is a form of torture. And when you have someone that's been through that and now they get relief from that, it is life-changing.
It is. And I just love in moments like that where you get to help someone. And I know you have those all the time. We just help people with sleep systems, but you really do some hands-on, very detailed work to help people get on the right track.
But I think that's something important to recognize there, because when people think about, I mean, you have a home furnishing. It's an amazing place. You got everything there somebody could want.
Sure.
But you've got a special center that's dedicated to sleep. And while most home furnishing ideas, we think about comfort and aesthetics, that sleep center is really about quality of life and experiencing those things. And that's one of the reasons why every week I send people there, because it's one of those things you need to touch, you need to experience. We order so many things online today, which is great. But there are some things you just don't know how it impacts you until you experience it.
Yeah. And I love I know your heart beats the same, but I love the people part of this so much. So it means that him coming back in and hugging me that day. I mean, that fills my tank for a long time.
Right.
You know, because if this was another mattress or another sofa or another patient, it gets boring after a while.
Right.
You know, but what's different are the people. The people make this whole thing a lot of fun to do. You know?
And you and I, until you asked me for us to have a conversation about sleep and the importance of it, in all these years, we've never talked about all the people I send over there.
Sure.
Like, that's never but that's why I continue to send people, because I can trust that what their experience is going to be. It's not going to be something they're trying to be upsold. It's not going to be something to try to put them in something that doesn't work for them. That you didn't know me when I came in there, and you walked me through trying to find. Now, with my background, I knew some of the things that I was looking for, just like when I came to get a new pillow.
We just did that
a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
People ask me what they should sleep on with a pillow, and I tell them, I have no idea. We're all different. What works best for me may not work best for you.
Absolutely.
And you brought out probably 12 or 15 different pillows, and I was like, yep, nope, and I had my 3 yes over there, and then I went back through those, and you were able to show me what this offered, and I knew I wanted it to move with me. I needed to fit different positions. I didn't want it to be, and you told me I picked the lowest profile pillow that you have.
You did.
But those are things people don't know. If you're just ordering something online and then you sleep on it, well, you think it's good because you haven't compared it to anything else.
Sure.
And
I'm glad I passed the pop quiz that day, because I was nervous. I'm like, I got Dr. Harrison here. He's running me through all these pillows. Oh, goodness. Hopefully we have the right one. And I'm glad we'd found the right one.
Yeah. And so, but those are things that I feel like you need to touch and experience to make. And we like we're talking about, it's a huge investment, not just financially, but in your health.
100%. Yeah. So putting you on the spot a little bit here, calling you out, but do you have a favorite mattress?
I love the mattress that I'm on right now that I got from you, called the Sutherland.
Yep, Sutherland makes that one, yes,
It's actually made here in Nashville.
It is.
Which, that was one of the selling points when I first heard about it. I was like, well, that's, and then we also got the elevation system. But I tell people, even when I send them to you, I tell them what I have, but I'm like, just because that works for me does not mean it's going to be what you need.
Sure.
We're all different. So my
Yeah.
standard answer when people ask me what they should sleep on is I have no idea.
That's why we have choices.
That's why we have choices. And so, but I ask them to go and experience, go somewhere where you can touch and feel and lay on it. But even though you can experience it in a showroom, my next recommendation, I don't know if all your sleep systems provide this, but I know a lot of them do, is find something with a trial period.
We have one.
Because you're not going to know until you sleep on it.
Yeah, we do.
I see so many people buy something, doesn't work for them.
Sure.
The biggest one, and sometimes it doesn't mean they need a different sleep system, but they may need a different level in that sleep system. So, for instance, I have a lot of people come in and they think they need something really firm. And it felt really good for 10 minutes. But after 7 hours, they're hurting.
Sure.
And so they would get something within the same line, but just back off the firmness some. But that's not something they knew until they experienced it. But if they didn't have that trial period, they're stuck.
Yeah, we see that sometimes too. That's why we do the 100-day sleep night guarantee that we have, to where we have an escape hatch. We're really good at helping someone find the right thing in store.
Right.
And our rate of success there is really high. But if for some reason we miss the mark somehow, we've got a way we can get that right.
Yeah.
So we keep it
simple.
simple.
But it makes a huge difference. I've seen, I've been in practice almost 25 years. Like I was saying, 20 years ago, a lot of companies, you didn't have trial periods and things like that. So I would see people stuck with things that they doesn't
work for them.
No.
Yeah.
Even if it did, even worse, it caused bigger problems.
What kind of we touched on pillows a little bit. Talk about like neck alignment, spinal alignment, all the chiropractic angle things when it comes to pillows and pillow selection.
So if you're looking for a pillow, you think about your positioning that you prefer first. Okay, so if you're a side sleeper. Mm-hmm. You want something that's going to keep your nose more in the midline of the body. You don't want something too thick that pushes your head up or too thin where that head drops down. And that's often when people start to get the arm up underneath them, and now they're compromising their shoulder and their neck.
Okay.
Right? Someone on their back. You want that head to gently drop back. Okay. You want to support that curvature in the neck. And we live in a society of technology that, for most people, compromises that curvature. Everything's forward.
Tech neck before.
Tech neck, yes. It's actually called a lordosis curve. It comes from when you're a baby.
Okay.
As babies grow and develop and they start to look up toward the Lord, right? It starts to create that curvature.
Wow.
And that curvature actually works like a natural suspension system or a shock absorber. Okay, it curves forward in your neck, back in your mid-back, and forward again in your lower back. That's why chiropractors are always talking about alignment. You want the ear to line up with the shoulder to line up with the hips, because that's a suspension system. You want that spring to not be sprung, right? And
makes sense.
And so, but technology takes us there. And as that happens, you lose that natural suspension system. You actually put tension on the spinal cord, and now the weight of your head moves to the front or the disc instead of being back on the joints, the bones that are actually designed to support that pressure. That's where people get into developing disc problems because their discs are overloaded. Okay. Also, when you're in that position on your back, it helps open up your respiration system. You're not shutting down your, those airways. So there's a lot of great benefit, and the shoulders are able to drop back. What do most pillows do, especially for petite ladies? Push them forward, right? So that's what I found interesting when you took me through those pillows that day, that even being a big guy, what I felt best for me for what I was looking for was this lowest profile pillow you had. Okay. Yeah. Now, going back to what we were talking about earlier and people understanding their posture, some people may have a really bad forward head carriage that they can't drop back.
Okay.
They need to go to the chiropractor, but also
clearly,
but also they may need something thicker to help better support them because their mechanics are so compromised, it's going to create problems for them. So another thing, and I learned this with my petite ladies early on in practice because they'd come in, they'd buy all these pillows, and finally it hit me one day, I'm like, they're too big. That's the problem. So I started recommending that they move up on their pillow, meaning kind of start it between their shoulder blades so they can drop back instead at the base of their neck, pushing their head up.
Okay.
I'm a big guy. I have the lowest profile pillow that you got for me. I do the same thing. I move up on that pillow so now everything can drop.
That's great. And how's that been for you the past couple of months?
Oh, it's been great. I really like it. Before the pillow, and I love the cooling aspect. What was the brand of that pillow you sold me?
Bedgear.
Bedgear.
Yeah.
I look for something that moves with me. No,
Okay.
A lot of the contour pillows and things like that, they're great, but you got to know your sleeping style.
Sure.
I'm back and forth, side to back. There are certain types of sleepers that those will work best for. I need something that moves with me, and I can mold with whether I'm on my side or my back. So traditionally, I've gone with a feather pillow because it's given me that ability. And that pillow it molds to what I need. It's the cooling agent I love because we all love the cool side of a pillow.
Absolutely. It's one of the small joys in life.
Man.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
That's great. How often do you feel like people should update their mattress? I have my answer, but I know you're going to have your own opinion too.
Well, the interesting thing about mattresses is sometimes I have this conversation with people. I'll ask them, how long have you had your mattress? And I tell them I think it's their mattress is broken down. They're like, oh, my mattress got a lifetime warranty. I'm like, that just means it's not going to fall apart. It doesn't mean it's going to support you. Everything breaks down.
Right.
Just like your tires on your car, they break down. You have to get new tires. My standard range on that is about 7 to 10 years. 7 to 10 years, most sleep systems are going to start to be on the down. And that just comes from me asking people when I think they have problems, and it's their mattress. That would be the range. It would be in that 7 to 10 year range. Now, a lot of sleep systems have changed over the past decade. Traditionally, years ago, if somebody, and this might be important for somebody that has an older sleep system, the traditional mattress, traditional pillow tops.
Yes.
Okay. If somebody came in and they had a mattress two or 3 years, and when I thought it was a problem, I knew it was a pillow top. Because back then they would do those real firm mattresses, and they would do those cushy toppers on top, and those cushy toppers would break down, and then people were getting those firm. Now everything's more integrated, and it's a lot different when you have those pillow tops.
Changed a lot.
But 20 years ago, it was. I knew instantly. I was like, it's a pillow top, isn't it? And not to say that pillow tops are bad, but I'm just saying the technologies have changed so much with them.
They have. Yeah, our answer to when folks ask that same question of like, well, how often should I change my mattress, or when should this be a concern? And we tell them whenever it's no longer comfortable for you, that's the time. And if it's consistently uncomfortable, now that can be, a thing we don't take into consideration besides the lifespan of the mattress materials, which is kind of what you're referencing. That's a factor for sure. Like you're going to see a decline in material use over time, just like with tires and other things we use often, like we use a mattress. But our bodies are dynamic. And so, especially, you're injured. Women have babies. There's all these major life events. You can, have a car accident that changes your whole body's makeup and what you're dealing with. And so at that point, if that mattress that you bought 5 years ago, 10 years ago, sometimes 12 years ago is no longer working for you, well, that's the time to switch it out and do something different, to kind of update it to where your life is at that point.
Well, I think another factor to keep in mind, though, is a lot of people don't know it's not working for them anymore. These things happen gradually, and sometimes we don't know the difference until we feel the difference.
That's true.
So that's why I would encourage people, if they're in that realm of 7 to 10 years, it might be something you want to look at and consider.
Sure.
Because you may not know it's causing you problems.
Yeah.
You may not know you're not getting as good a quality sleep. You think it's normal for you to sleep like you're sleeping.
Yeah, we kind of get lulled into a normal.
Yes.
Whether that normal is good or not.
The comfort of discomfort.
That's it. And we lose sight of how good it could be.
And so that and that's where I think recognizing number one, how can you extend the life of the mattress? your maintenance. There's maintenance things that I think you can do to help extend the life of that mattress. Number one, turning it regularly. Mm-hmm. Now, not all of them can you turn. And back in the old days, you could flip them, right? Most of them you can't flip anymore, but you can rotate them.
That's right.
And my recommendation for people is every 90 days, rotate their mattress.
Mm-hmm. It's a great practice.
Or when the seasons change your mattress, because 90 days goes by faster than most of us can keep up with. Mm-hmm. So by rotating it consistently, you're going to help it last longer.
That's right.
My wife is 5'1", probably 95 pounds. I'm 6'8", 240 pounds. If we did not rotate that sleep system consistently, it would be so lopsided. She would roll over on me. And so, number one, that's just going to help the life of the mattress. Okay. Number two, areas like the shoulder blades, the hips, the pelvis are prone to pressure points. So as that support breaks down or conforms to you, because most of them are designed to do what? Conform to you, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
It's going to go from supporting you to creating pressure points. Okay, and so just turning it consistently will, like fluffing a pillow, it's going to freshen up that support.
Yep.
Also, I think mattress protectors and pillow protectors are huge.
Massive deal.
Not just the bacteria side, which is a big point.
Yep.
I mean, it's a lot.
Yep.
To create a healthier, more hygienic environment, but stains, that protects your warranty, because a lot of things, if it's got a stain, your warranty is not going to be good.
That's correct.
But moisture from the body is going to break down that mattress. I had a shoe expert. I'm as big on shoes as I am mattresses, right? I think our two most important, I call them life supports, are what we sleep on and what we walk on. Mm-hmm. So I had this shoe guy was telling, because I change my shoes regularly. I'm on concrete 12, 14 hours a day. I'm constantly keeping my shoes updated. And he has me take my shoes off, and he shows me how on the top that ripples. You ever notice that, like your dress shoe or something?
Yeah, I've seen that.
And so he taught me about how much moisture we lose through our feet. And he said it's actually the moisture that causes that shoe to break down faster. That's the point of a cedar shoe tree. I always thought you think about holding the shape of the shoe, but it's actually there to draw the moisture, because the moisture causes the shoe to break down more quickly.
Oh my gosh.
Same thing with the mattress protector. You put the mattress protector on there, that's going to help protect the mattress and those things that cause it to break down more quickly.
Yeah. And it's wild. We'll when we deliver a mattress, I'd say 8 out of 10 times we're hauling away the old mattress for them. And it's wild when you take that old mattress out of someone's home and it weighs 3 times more than what it should, because they for maybe half of the time they weren't using a mattress protector, and so all the skin cells, the hair, the sweat, all that stuff just settles in it like a sponge, and it weighs so much. It's really it's crazy how much gets inside that mattress.
Can I tell you a really gross story?
Please, I love it.
This is gross.
So.
Again, being a chiropractor, having conversations with patients, things come up. I think it's a mattress, a pillow. A lot of these things come up. I got 2 stories for you. They're both pillow stories. So
okay.
A lot of stories come up, and going to the chiropractor, a lot of people see me regularly. Mm-hmm. They don't. Some people come every so often. Or they come when they have a problem. A lot of people use me consistently. So you develop a relationship. They become friends. Like, you become friends.
It's the best part.
We do life. We do life together.
Yeah.
So there are things that I may say to some of them that I might not say to someone that I just met. Right. So these were 2 people that I have those kind of relationships with. Well, one of them, her name's Angie, and I'm thinking her pillow's a problem, and I'm asking her about her pillow, and she says, "Oh, I got my granddaddy's old feather pillow."
Oh, no.
I said, "What?" She said, "Oh, yeah, when my granddaddy died, I got his old feather pillow."
Oh, baby.
I said, "Angie, I love my granny. When my granny passed away," I said, my uncle asked me if I wanted it. She didn't have a lot. I said, "All I want is a couple of her iron skillets." I said, "The last thing I want is my granny's pillow." And so
But she probably didn't think about it.
I don't even think if she'd had a pillow protector that I'd have wanted it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want my granny's pillow.
No.
And then I had this other lady talking about the challenge with pillows, and I guess this goes back to Angie and her grandpa's pillow. We get this emotional attachment to them. So a lot of times we keep them too long. I recommend about every 2 to 3 years, update that pillow. I teach people this, and I'm guilty of keeping mine too long. Like, there's just something intimate about that pillow, right?
Absolutely.
And so I had this lady, she's a teacher, and her name's Miss Paula. And I thought her pillow might be the issue. And I said, Miss Paula, how long you had your pillow? And she eyes kind of rolled back in her. She said, I got married. She said, I don't know, 40 years.
Oh, my gosh.
I said, Miss Paula, I said, would you wear a bra for 40 years? She busted out laughing. I said, well, what makes you think that pillow is going to support you for 40 years? I said, yes, I think your pillow is definitely the problem. So,
oh, my gosh.
But these are things we just don't think about.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. We get in a groove, and people kind of just motor on through life, and we kind of lose sight of some of these things that make a big difference in how we look and feel and everything every day. So
while a pillow protector might help extend the life of it, I still wouldn't go 40 years.
That's right. Said it here first.
Yeah,
you said it here first. Oh, that's so good. Let's see here, Matt. Any other maintenance tips in general that might play into like the sleep environment, even if you've got some tips on that?
Oh, the sleep environment. This is where I think the elevation system is so good. Okay, number one, just like you mentioned with your client with the herniated disc, it got him, the zero gravity position is great. That's probably where he was. So, because that kind of decompressed and took the pressure off the disc. So those can be great. But what we've experienced with the elevation system is if someone's sick, someone has a surgery. Oh, it is so good to have that.
It's a game changer.
My
for
kids
recovery.
come down, if one of them's not feeling well, I get kicked out. They're in their elevation system. If you like to read or watch television in bed, that sleep system, that elevation system is so good. I used it. My kids are getting older now, but when they were little, we'd have these times when they'd have to read. You know, we got to read the lesson from school, read the book. And we would sit at that kitchen table. I'm big guy, hunched over this, and it was killing me. And I was like, let's go in the bedroom and prop that. And so then I could lay back. You know, we were setting it. You're sitting in a it's almost
position.
Like a big upright position.
Yeah. And
we could lay there and we could read and not feel like I wasn't going to be able to work the next day.
Sure.
Yeah. So that in that sleep environment, I think that is key. Some people, that's the way they can sleep. You know, they can't sleep on a flat bed. They need that elevation. I have a lot of patients, sometimes they're like, oh, the only place I can sleep is in the recliner. And you know that's not a good quality sleep.
Yeah.
And so I'll tell them about the elevation system. I'm like, get an elevation system.
Yeah, recliner, the padding in a recliner is not designed to support
it's not
like
made
a
for
mattress.
that. And not to mention you can't move.
Yeah.
So that part on the elevation system and creating that environment, I think is really important.
So some offbeat things just to ask you just for fun. What about, cell phones near the bed? Are you one of those folks that's like anti having, Wi-Fi blockers or any of that kind of stuff? Do you partake any of that or have any opinions on that subject?
Yeah. I mean, again, stress, anything that forces change in our body, and how can we reduce the stresses that we can control? Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of stresses that we're exposed to that we're not aware of. Cell phones being a great example.
Yep.
Right. So, but at the same time, you minimize the things you can, and sometimes some of those things are hard. I got 4 kids, so not having a cell phone available sometimes is not. I need it close.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not going to put it on my pillow though, next to my head.
Right.
But so looking at those things and saying, okay, for my lifestyle, where I'm at, what are the most practical things that I can do?
Yeah.
And so those things can become real important.
I don't know if you've ever run into this, but I had a customer come in. This was probably a year ago, and she was plagued with autoimmune issues.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these autoimmune issues showed up in her body as really she would get these bouts of intense inflammation,
Right.
and it just made it impossible for her to sleep. So she was doing everything in her power to try to create a sleep environment that was comfortable, supportive, and then also was free of any kind of things that stimulated her autoimmune issues. Right. So, I mean, she had to have an adjustable base, but then what she would do, and this is some extreme measures, this is the kind of stuff we get into sometimes to try to help somebody solve their problem. She would get in the articulated position in the adjustable base, and then she had a Faraday bag, mm-hmm. That's like blocks all the signals and whatnot. She laid that under the mattress between that and the adjustable base, and then she had a master off switch too that she would hit once she was in the position she wanted to be in to cut the power off to the base where there was nothing emitting any kind of frequency, electrical or Wi-Fi or whatever, so that she could get in. And it was really cool. She tried a couple things. We tried a couple things. We kind of did it was a fascinating test case for me. And then she came back with her husband. They've been longtime customers here recently, and it's working for her. So she's starting to get a lot better.
I think that's such an important story, because in all of these things, it's recognizing that you can't put everybody in a box. You have to recognize that everybody is uniquely different, and their sensitivities are different. And as a chiropractor, everybody associates chiropractor with the bones or the structure, which is true. But what we're really working with is that relationship between the body's structure and its ability to function. And that functions through that nerve system. Mm-hmm. So when your nerve system is compromised, it responds in one of two ways. You have an increase in activity or a hyperactivity, which we often recognize like a muscle spasm. Or you have a decrease in activity or a hypoactivity, which we often recognize like a muscle weakness. That's where people say things like, Matt, I'm having trouble gripping a doorknob, or when I walk, my toe drags. But what we're not really taught or aware of is that it affects our physiology the same way. And most of the issues that we deal with are either a hyperactive response or a hypoactive response. That's what a headache is. It's when the blood vessels in the brain are going into spasm. That's what an allergy is. It's not the stuff in the air. It's how your body's responding to the stuff in the air. So that's why you can have 3 different people, and one can go into a flower shop and instantly get a migraine. You might go in and your eyes water, and it might not bother me at all.
Wow.
It's the same flower shop, but it's how your body interacts with it. So just like what you're talking about trying to find with clients, it's about what interacts with their body the best, and that's the rub. It's not a one size fits all.
Yeah, there's so many different health journeys people are on.
Yes, and so complicating factors, and especially if people have been through traumas, whether it be a physical trauma like a car wreck, or a chemical trauma, or even a mental emotional trauma. You can go through an emotional trauma that has the same impact on your body and nerve system as a physical trauma. Okay, an emotional car wreck. But those things are invisible, so oftentimes people aren't aware of how that's impacting their body, but now they're in this more hyperactive, hypersensitive state that these things that we're talking about they're important for all of us, but they become even more important for them.
Yeah, it's more magnified.
More magnified, yes.
Yeah, in those situations. Yeah, it's such an important piece to the puzzle when you're trying to help somebody get on the right track from a health standpoint. So let's talk quickly about the selection process. So if you were walking in, totally cold, walking into Head Springs, we had never met, and you were going to pick out a sleep system, what process would you go through if you were picking one out for you and your wife, say when you guys come to replace your next one?
Well, first of all, allow time. Give yourself time. These are important decisions because, again, when you're really looking at your sleep system, your pillow, it's not just about something that's going to look good in the room. This is about supporting your body, supporting your health, your well-being. And as we've established, that's every dimension of your life. Okay? So you need time to do that. Number two, I would say if you have to think about it, it's probably not the right one.
Agreed.
If you're trying to convince yourself that this works,
we'll get some people that are like, I think it'll soften up. And I'm like, no. Let's not buy it hoping it's going to be different than what it is. Let's find the right one today.
And also going back to couples, that's where it gets tricky because, again, we're all different. And what works best for one may not work best for the other.
That's true.
And I've had that so many times. Someone think that the mattress is their issue. They get something new, and it's a couple. One was sleeping great, one wasn't, and then it flips. The one that was sleeping great now isn't, and the one that... So recognizing it's okay to get a split system where one has one side, one has the other.
And we do that a lot with adjustable bases. So you have two sides, and we'll have two totally different mattress models next to each other because one's for one person, one's for the other.
Yes.
They're still in the same bed with their spouse, so it's not like we moved to different bedrooms, but...
Now my wife was for that one though. She may be little, but she likes all the space.
She wants all the room.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful thing because you can get and sometimes that's been the solution to get people back in the same bedroom together because they've been one person sleeping in the guest room because that mattress is comfortable to one of them and now all of a sudden you're bringing marriages back together because they can actually get in the same bedroom together again. Yep. So. Yeah, to your point, it's a big deal, bigger than we care to realize a lot of times. So when you're picking that mattress out, do you have any specific like things that you're trying to feel for or rule in, rule out when you're in there looking for yourself?
Well, when you're trying to find the right mattress, some people think they want really firm, and other people think they want really soft, and there's a fine line between firm too firm and soft too soft, and for everybody that's different. So. That goes back to, looking at how do I like to sleep? Am I a side sleeper, back sleeper? Do I go side to side? I'm a stomach sleeper. Going back to if someone has an adjustable base, realizing when to use the adjustable base. I have one patient, and he started having this, sent him to Head Springs. He bought his sleep system with the elevation. He starts having this hip issue.
Okay.
And I'm asking him about it. And anyway, this went on for a few weeks. And I was like, Zach, because he was talking about the elevation system and he was talking about sleeping on the side. I said, do you flatten the bed when you go to bed at night? Because I go both sides. So if I elevate it, I hit that flat button before I go to, when I'm winding down. He said, no, I keep it in that zero gravity position. I said, but you get on your side?
Oh, man.
I was like, Zach, you can't. I said, I think it's that you're still in the zero gravity position on your side. Yes. And that's what it was. He said, I hit that. He said, I didn't have any more problems. But, I mean, these are things, he was going to sleep.
Yeah, he's comfortable.
He was comfortable, but it wasn't changing. He didn't realize that.
Yeah, once he rolled on his side, he was in
a bad position,
really bad spot.
Yeah. So my point is looking at how do I sleep? What does that look like? So it's a process. So give yourself time when you're trying to find that right sleep system. Go to somewhere. So number one, give yourself time. Number two, go somewhere where you can physically experience that sleep system.
Yeah.
I can't emphasize enough. Maybe it's because I'm a chiropractor. I'm very tactile. As soon as I touch something, I'm like, that works for me or it doesn't.
Yeah. I think it's important too. That's the beauty of mattresses in store is you can see, feel, touch, confirm.
And having a support team that's knowledgeable to say, they can ask you those questions. How do you know? And then now I'm a side sleeper, or this is what I do. Oh, well, we just took half of this sleep center away. This is where we need to focus.
Yeah, we need to laser in over here because it's for your situation. Yeah, it helps a ton. It's tough because when you buy a mattress online, which we sell mattresses online, so it's a thing, but it's so much better in store because you can actually try, like you said. Because the reality is you buy one online, you get it, you don't like it, you're still back to square one.
Right.
You still have a mattress problem. We still got to figure out how to get this thing
not to mention
back.
When you come in and you have professionals that just see your body type and they're like, I know that one's not going to work for him.
Yeah.
He's too big. It's just not going to be a good fit.
Yeah, there's so many factors to be considered, but that's when you have a knowledgeable team, and it makes all the difference.
Yeah, and your team's always great.
Yeah, we've got an incredible team.
Yeah.
Grateful for our team. They're solid. They really care about people first, and so being able to serve others and really know that they're helping them when they're selecting a great mattress. So they really take the time to care if the customer's not rushed and we've got time to really be methodical about it. That's our favorite way to help people with that sort of thing.
If you are rushed, go home, think about it, come back and follow up.
When you're not rushed.
Yes, come back.
Let's work on this when you're not rushed so that we can we can get this right.
Yes.
So well, man, thank you so much for coming out today to sit down with me and have a conversation. I'm so grateful that you took the time. You're so busy, and I'm honored you did.
I appreciate you having me. And, that's one of the things, being a chiropractor, and when I was looking for my sleep system, a lot of places will sell me their product at a significant discount.
Sure.
Because they know that's the world I'm in.
Yeah.
Right? And so I came down to your place, found everything that I was looking for. When my patient told me about your place, I'd already picked out something I was going to order. And I got all those features. Again, something that was made here in Nashville, which I really liked.
It's fantastic.
Got the whole elevation system, all for what I was going to pay for that other system at my big discount. Mm-hmm. You charged me full price. But I still got all those features that I wouldn't have gotten for. So I just feel like when I'm making those recommendations to people, I can do it confidently because I know they're going to get a good value for their, you and I both, we've talked about that, the relationship part of our business is what's important for us.
Critical.
You have people that come to you for years. I have people that come to me for years. You have relationships with them. So I'm always trying to be as efficient as I can with everyone's time and money. Mm-hmm. And that's just a priority that we have. How can we be efficient with their resources? And so I look at that. That's why I don't sell a lot of products. I don't want people to think that I'm telling them something because I'm trying to sell them on something else.
Sure.
I recommend them to things that I think are going to be a good return for them. They're going to get a good value. And that's why I've always been comfortable sending people over because I know they're going to have a good experience, they're going to have great quality products, and they're going to get a good value for their money. Yeah. And so I appreciate you. And people always come back and they always have a great experience. Or they'll text me. That's the thing now. They'll text me. I sent you a picture of one the other day after we had this conversation. I was like, this Mike had just texted me. He's like, I got the whole elevation system. It's monitoring my sleep. I'm like, he's going to be giving me a sleep score every time he comes in.
I love it. Yeah. Well, how do people learn more about you and Berry Farms Chiropractic?
We're easy to find, Berry Farms Chiropractic. We're in the south side of Franklin. We're right there. We're off I-65. We're Thompson Station, Spring Hill, Leapers Fork, College Grove. Everything just kind of converges there. And now we got In-N-Out Burger coming in. So if you find In-N-Out Burger, you'll find me. Or Tito's. Everybody loves Tito's. So.
Tito's, In-N-Out, and Witt's Frozen Custard. We got to stay away from that place.
So I got to be
it's good.
I got to be one of the first things in Berry Farms. There was nothing out there. There was me and Umi, which Umi's great.
Yep.
Umi's great. The nail parlor and Dr. Johnson, the dentist. So we all kind of came in at the same time. There were maybe like 30 houses. Goose Creek was still a 2-lane road. So there was nothing out there for a while. And then Tito's and Witt's came in. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm like, I'm
never going to leave.
Well, I'm like, I need to support the neighborhood because we still didn't have a lot of traffic yet. People didn't work out there yet. There weren't office buildings. And so every day I'm going to Tito's and Witt's. Mm-hmm. And they're both so good. That custard is just...
It's crazy.
Oh, it's so...
And such a nice family that runs it, too.
Oh, yeah. They're great. The Welches, they're awesome. Yeah. And but I was like, if I don't quit supporting the neighborhood, I'm going to start to support the alteration department over at Jimmy's Cleaners across the street because every time I was getting my cleaning back, it was a little more snug.
More snug because of that custard.
They're so good. Yeah.
Every now and then it's all right, but you gotta in
balance,
moderation.
Moderation.
Yeah.
But you get that salty Tito's, and then you get that sweet.
Oh my gosh, it's a perfect marriage. I know where you're
Maybe
going.
that's
next.
where our next conversation.
Yeah,
should
that's
be.
right. That's right. Well, thanks again for coming out.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it. I appreciate it.
And we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well done, guys.